Maybe get some good light over here. I don't know.
How are we feeling? Feeling good?
Always and forever.
Always and forever. Feeling good in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Jourdan Matthew.
Yeah, guys. Welcome back.
Here we are.
So let's get started, Matt, on this. You've been scuba diving lately.
Man, have I. And it's really just knocking the cobwebs off for another trip that I'm going on here at the end of the month. But, yeah, we did Morrison Springs this past weekend. It was pretty fun. My dad decided to talk me into coming with him. Cold, 65 degrees year-round there. Did a little bit of research on this place. I don't know if you've ever been. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I have not.
All right, well, there's a few freshwater springs over there that are like apparently so deep in the ground that they just burst out. Morrison Springs particularly, this is an interesting fact, an unbelievable fact, because I didn't really believe it whenever I read it. But projected 30 to $70 million or 70 million gallons of water come out of this hole in the ground a day.
What?
30 to 70 million gallons a day. And it's crystal clear water. And it's ice cold. In fact, in Morrison Springs, they've got 3 cave systems. And the deepest one, I think, to date that they knew about went down to about 300 foot deep. It's all like limestone down there. But they ended up having to cave it in. So people wouldn't keep going down there and trying to just, I guess, go further. Because I guess as the water comes out the bottom, it just keeps flowing and opening up new cavities in the limestone. So,
I mean, how large is this area?
The 3 cavities, actually, dude, very big, very big. And I wish I had the GoPro because I could have shown you. I didn't have it.
You didn't grab it?
No, my dad didn't bring it, and
I thought we had one laying around here.
we should, and I didn't bring it. But we'll go back. I mean, so I've been diving this cave since I was a kid. I've been certified since I was 12, and my dad actually started going diving here whenever he was a kid. And it's called Ponce de Leon or Ponce de Leon, Florida, I believe is the name of it. I'm not 100% correct on that. But it's just, I think, north of like Destin or Panama City. So it's probably about a 3.5 hour drive from here. But it used to be owned by a private family. And I think a while back, they kind of lost the rights to it or something. But the city ended up having it, or the state ended up buying it. And they put a lot of money into it. But I haven't been in probably 10 years. In fact, the last time I went with my dad, it was all closed down, and we pretty much had to like break in to go scuba dive it. But so I remember then, whenever I was a kid, they used to have a tally on the wall, or whenever you were driving, it'd be like X amount of deaths since the last, or days since the last death, and it was always changing. There was always people dying in the cave, trying to go further and further. And it gets into some weird spots. But anyway, whenever you first get into this cave, the very first cavity it's almost like a figure 8. It's like this. And you can go in the middle of it, it's open. So you can kind of go in 2 different layers.
So when you say deaths, I mean people would push themselves.
Either that or
the limits and their tanks shut down?
Yeah, their equipment may malfunction. I don't really know.
So it's kind of haunted.
Probably. Yeah.
It seems haunted. You're
It's
talking about a
pretty deep.
cave with people just.
It's pretty deep. So anyway, I went down to, about 100 foot deep is where they've got it all barricaded off at and blown up. But then right there, you can see the water just like flowing in underneath some rocks. And it's shooting out like pressure washer almost down there, but it's ice cold. It's pretty neat.
I've seen pictures and stuff. The waters looked amazing.
But so the next cave, the second, I guess, cavity that you go into after the figure 8, there's a little hole that might be like 3 foot by 3 foot, like the size of a car hood or something. And you have to pull yourself through this thing.
Do you go through it?
Yeah, for sure. And it's so much better once you do. But the water is pushing out so strong that there is a current ripping out of this little hole. And you have to like literally put your hands on this thing and pull yourself through to get to the second tavern. And once you're in there, it opens up, and it's probably the size of this house. You could probably fit 2 of these houses in there. It's all underground or underwater at about 80 foot. It's pretty neat.
Bunch of fish?
Bass and brim, and then some eel. It was pretty cool. Some freshwater eel. That was really the only thing that was down that deep. But at that point, there was one more smaller cavity underneath that goes probably another 10 or 15 feet down. But that's where they have it dynamited off at. So me and my dad went, which we've been a lot, and we brought one of his friends or came with us. He actually drove us down there. Shout out to my boy Nick. But anyway, we go down there. Nick's never been in the cave before, so he ends up kind of coming with us. And once he got into that second cavity, I think he had a really good time. But you could tell he was kind of reluctant at first, which I think most people would. I mean, what would you say if I was like, Jourdan, come swim in this cave with me that you've never heard about, but I'm going to tell you how many people died in it? And
I get that. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably be like, yeah, but I mean, honestly, when it comes to Matt, I'm gonna go jump right in.
Yeah, it's a rush. I mean, really, it's a Robert thing. If my dad wasn't doing it,
like Rob, yeah. Was he wearing a tank top that day?
Probably at one point. Yeah, I think.
I'm pretty sure he was.
So
no, that sounds. I mean, my thing is, how old are the trees? You know, like the start of that, but like,
dude,
how old are the trees?
There's no telling. So it's all cypress.
Beautiful.
Oh, and really, so this is the base of a spring. And it dumps into a creek, which we ended up kayaking down, and it actually tees off into the river. I didn't go down that far, but my dad and Nick brought their kayaks. They're both, avid racers and kayak men. I don't know what the
Robert Brooks, you would not even stand a chance during church camp.
Right? No, I think you probably would.
No. Me and Mike used to go hard.
Oh, on the canoe?
Canoe.
Oh, yeah.
No, so let's get to this. So for the listeners and stuff, how long does your tank last?
Man, so it depends on how far down you are.
For that day, what did you have prepped ready for that?
I had 2 tanks. We all three had 2 tanks. And the tanks hold about 30,000 to 3,200 pounds of pressure or air, which at a depth of like 30 foot could last you an hour, maybe longer. It's a long time.
Really? That long?
Yeah.
Do you have like a small little backup?
No, typically not. Some people do. But you always want to have a buddy down there with you, that way in case you run out of air. But the gauges that you have show you how much air you have, and then there's rules to where you at some point you turn around and you go back.
And you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. So anyway, the deeper you go, the less time that air will, I guess, last right down there. You consume it faster. So I think the first dive we went down, I got to about 80 foot, and I sat there, and we were down maybe 25 minutes. And I came back up, and I still had 1,200 pounds of air left, which is a good bit, typically. I mean, that's almost half of what I would have went down there with. And the water was breathtaking cold, so I was like breathing it in real fast. And that's how you waste it. And then I'll tell you another reason why I waste it, because I'm ADD, and I'll just get like a song stuck in my head, and I'll start.
Can you listen to music down there?
In my head. Always.
Yeah. So what are you listening to?
No, I don't remember, but there was surely something sucking down some of that air, helping me do that. But anyway, second dive, I told myself I was going to sit down there a little bit longer. So I get down in the second cave, and I just ended up turning my flashlight off. And I sit there, and I'm like in the dark. But the water, the color of it, and you can kind of look back and see that hole that you had to swim through to get in there, and like how it was dark on one side and crystal clear blue on the other side. Totally worth it. It was a fun trip, but in all, I think, if you're at 90 feet, to answer your question about a tank, 90 feet, your tank might last you 10 or 15 minutes, but you have to slowly ascend in order to stop yourself from getting the bends.
I'm thinking I want to do it pretty soon.
It's fun.
I've thought about it. I'm like,
And Morrison Springs is a good place to learn. Not saying that you necessarily have to go cave diving, because the main portion of the I guess, spring is probably about 20 feet deep. And they've got a couple different like platforms down there, and they do a lot of scuba diving classes. But so we woke up at 3:30. I left my dad's house at 4 a.m. We get there at like 7. So we make good time. But we were the only ones there. And I got a couple of good still shots of this place. Anyway, we get in the water. We're coming out of the water. There's one other diver that's about to walk in, like as we're coming out. We get up to the car, take all of our gear off. And next thing you know, there's like 300 people at this place. It packed out. Minimal divers, but it's kind of like a hole in the wall. Remember how Riverside was when we were kids? Everybody would just go like.
But it's the best. It's like,
yeah,
hole in the wall or not. When we had our folders out there,
yeah, absolutely. Well, this place is way nicer than Riverside, and it's a little colder, but there was some scuba divers out there. There really wasn't anybody in the cave. I think they kind of try to deter people from scuba diving and that. But we're outlaws, so
they can't really stop you if you're underwater.
And certified. Yeah, that's the thing.
And certified. And your dad's a master?
Yeah, it's dive master, I think is what it's called.
What? Are you going to be a master?
No, I have no ambition on
being
a dive master. No, I don't think you get a belt. They might now. I don't
That'd be
know.
cool though. You know?
You could probably get your own belt made. I'm sure there's a dive master out there who's got a belt made.
It's crazy to see your dad still just at it after all these
Oh,
years.
so him?
How old is Robert Brooks?
He's 63.
Robert Brooks, he just still Robert Brooks.
Yeah, cancer survivor.
Big, yeah, and that was when we were kids.
Yeah,
like
5, 6 years old.
Yeah, so he's fully athletic, and imagine like.
So he's doing. He was mad. They were complaining that they canceled the Chattajack, is what it's called, and they.
Is a run or what is that? A marathon?
Kayak race. They go down the Mississippi River, like up and.
So your dad goes like your dad does more than just running.
Yeah, he's a triathlete, a quiathlete. I don't know. He's probably does a little bit of everything. He swam for a long time. Biked.
Is he pretty strong? He has to be.
I think his endurance is there. Strength is probably stronger than us.
For sure.
But he's going for reps, not overall. He wants to live forever.
You know, but what I love is he's always held that passion.
Oh, he's going diving this week. He told me today. He's like, man, I'm taking off. The first day I've taken off in a long time.
So we're 30. What we're 30. I'll
33.
I'll be 34 September. Yeah. So I mean, man, like when I was a kid, he was still strong and being. He hasn't really changed his pattern.
No, well, a little bit. If you'd ask him, he probably eats a little different, and sleeps a little different. But I mean, it's definitely a commitment. It's a lifestyle.
That's a cool lifestyle, though. It kind of makes you want to go, you know what? Maybe I should start doing this a little more.
Yeah, maybe then. I don't know. Hopefully, I get inspired. Take some of his couple pages out of his book.
Have an underwater camera.
That's what I'm.
It will happen. It will happen.
I mean, we got the GoPro, but it's not the one I got. It's not that good of quality.
But we have one here that's.
I know.
Really
I should have took it. So we
It's
need to go back.
waterproof.
So this place to go in Morrison Springs.
I
It's
thought
free.
you grabbed it though. I really did.
It's free if you guys ever want to go down there. Look it up. It's. I mean, you don't have to dive. You can snorkel.
It's more or less, you know, you're pushing the limits on anything. Like like Matt said, like you get out there and you're going under and you're seeing the scenery. You don't see it every day, and like as I said, you were just hanging out in the corner, just tucked away, like chilling, listening to music.
Sometimes, listen to music. Sometimes I'll just turn my lights off and let it go, and completely dark, and then turn them on and see how many fish get close to me. You get bored down there sometimes.
But
I like to look for treasure. That's what
so when you say it's cold in your belly, I mean, are you cold in your suit too?
Oh yeah.
Do you pee in your suit?
I mean, I peed in my suit.
Okay.
Yes. There's two kind of divers. There's the diver that pees in the suit, and then there's a diver that lies about it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna pee in my suit.
Yeah.
I need to.
It's that extra layer of insulation.
I need to go to Adventure Locators and go ahead and get certified.
Jerry will take care of you, man.
Jerry, I have some of Jerry's honey Jerry makes his own honey.
Really?
Yep, he has a sweet, spicy honey.
I know he's always cooking. Always cooking.
I need to get in there, and I need to do it.
Yeah, him and Dawn, they're always booking good trips out of there. You need to go.
You know, how one of my favorite things is just go to the beach and just sit by the water, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy just taking advantage of the coast.
So you would totally like that.
That's what I'm saying. But for me, with the whole disability stuff, which I don't really care anymore. Like I will get one of the motorized,
just hang on to
whatever Sea-Doo things or whatever. Yeah, I'll hang on to it and it'll just pull me through. I think I might go ahead and get certified because, like you were talking about, maybe getting a boat, maybe it being a scuba boat, whatever.
Yeah, it'd be a fun project to film too, like you taking the classes and going through the motions and then going through your checkout dive.
I ain't scared.
I know you're not, but so my checkout dive, we went and did manatee diving down in Florida, which was kind of fun. But I mean, these manatees they call them sea cows, but they're like miniature whales, and it was boring. I'm not gonna lie. After the first one, I was like, okay, I'm over the manatees, but it was still neat. It was something cool to do.
I think for me, it's being able to capture and seeing a different part of life. And there's so much water. I mean, it's a whole different world.
Anything.
It's a whole different world. You're tapping into a whole nother world.
Don't you dare close your eyes.
I really think we get past the rental, and I'm just gonna a few things we're gonna be doing together. And because of your passion for it, I feel safe because if something does happen, even if I get certified,
no matter what, I'll always be there.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, like, we're there. We'll start small. I was thinking like we'll go find some like clear water, smaller areas.
So this one I'm doing at the end of the month, it's in Gulf Shores, and it's I was telling the fans about it one podcast. It's like 200 yards right off the beach, and it's like a 200-year-old whiskey wreck. It's a whiskey shirt.
I remember you telling me about that.
So how easy would of a dive for you as a new beginner would it be to just grab your gear and to walk straight into the water versus getting on a boat and going through like the motions in front of people? And I don't know. That's something that we need to look into.
I think the biggest fear is, with my disability of the movement of my leg, but I'm getting to the point where I'm stretching a good bit. I think being in the water would help me.
I know it would.
I think it would.
It absolutely would.
Would help
and
my
the
muscles.
sharks would probably be like, that looks good. Because I know when you're fishing, you want to kind of, shake the bait.
Yeah, I've always wanted. I can swim. I mean, I'm not the greatest swimmer, but I can swim. I'm very much so.
Not faster than a shark, though. Neither one of us can.
I know, but hey, you know what?
The sharks aren't coming after you. That's the least of your worries.
I'm not really. I'm
and
more,
as long as you got air, you're good.
I'm more. I would just enjoy seeing a whole different scenery.
I think you would. I know you like to take pictures, and like down there, like I said, there's so many pictures to take. And my problem, I was telling you earlier, like I'll sit there and I'll take all these pictures and I go look at them and I'm like, man, they all suck. And I'll think in my head that they're really good.
Like just for fish, like you look at the coral and stuff, like coil.
Yeah, coral.
Sorry, I messed that up. But they're
different colors and everything.
Living organisms, and you see the change, and it's like dope.
It is cool, man. There's purple. I mean, the colors down there pop like you ain't never seen colors pop.
Guys, for the record, I mess up almost every word in my life.
Yeah, me too. I'm dyslexic.
Yeah, I do it all the time, but I'm going to embrace it and say, you know what I mean.
Cool.
But no, I like looking at it, and I've thought about getting a tank for here.
I want a tank. I want a tank for my office. I think that would be pretty dope.
I think it's relaxing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a new, Fudge 2020. I feel like...
we've been creating a lot in 2020.
Yeah, but I think
it's been a learning year.
We're taking our show to a different level now. We've been working on a lot of things behind the scene. What we want to do for the show. What the podcast was started by two friends hanging out, and that's and we'll be bringing people on. We talk about this, but like it's about me and Matthew. Me and Matthew have been friends since we were kids, and we've always been creative. Both our parents support us the same way. They know that this is who we are, and we're going to be doing some trips, and I'm going to get out of my comfort zone as much as he's going to get out of his comfort zone, and he has with his photography, and that's something you're going to be seeing is these photos is one of our cameras. We have a few cameras here, and that's what I do is photography, and that I love. I love photography and film, and he's been really taking a point of self to get a part of it, and these photos you'll be seeing on this show is from him and the work he's put in. Yeah, it is. So that's a cool thing about
just trying to document things, man.
Well, it's awesome though.
Yeah.
The photos you did, I was like, man. I told Emily, I was like, this is sick. I was like,
I haven't even got to look at all of them yet.
Beautiful. I just went through.
Of what they were, how could you screw that up, right? I mean, I think that was so beautiful.
It is. You're true. That's what it is. Capturing memories.
Yeah.
Like I think I got into photography because I like. You'll see. We'll eventually hit the rewind button. And it's like stop motion
of your progression
of life.
Yeah.
And I have for me, I have over 25,000.
That's a lot. How much iCloud storage do you have?
It's a lot.
Yeah. What do you pay? I'm out currently. They're trying to
I don't know.
They're trying to get me to upgrade. What should I do?
I mean, I do it because that's where I'm documenting. I want my son to look back and be like, you know what?
What if iCloud crashes?
Well, I mean, I still have photos.
Is it backed up?
I think so.
Sell me on the ad that I get on my phone once a day.
I can't. I mean, I just started.
My phone storage isn't full.
I just started doing iCloud and Creative Cloud. For a long time, I would work through email.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even like
phones.
phones.
Email saves it.
I don't even like phones, man.
Yeah, I got the most gigs I think on my phone, but I'm about to have to get another one. I think I'm due for an upgrade.
I have an iPhone X, and now we got it when it first came out, and I have. I'm going to keep it forever. I love the phones and how they're moving, but I love my cameras.
Yeah.
And you can feel the difference too.
Big time. It's almost just like in your hand. Plus these phones are so slippery, man. It's like cracked screen. I can't keep a screen.
If we capture that memory or that emotion,
which is why I'm looking at the underwater housing for these cameras. I think
about it. You would have captured maybe like there's some photos though that we'll capture, and that if this gets out to that person, it's going to take them back to their dive.
Yeah,
and that's important because they're going to go. I need to get back out. We're inspiring people through our photography, and that's something I always live with. When I do photography, it's a true statement, is inspiring that photo. So I want, and like, it's not maybe not the greatest photo. You're going to contemplate how that photo looks, but like, it's for that person to go, man, I used to dive there.
Yeah.
I'm going back.
I think we got some of that.
I seen it. I was like,
I think we need to go.
How long does it take me to get side? Whatever, get a star,
Certified?
gold star.
A gold star? I don't know. Jerry might be able to give you a fast pass to a gold star.
Jerry, give me a gold star.
Yeah.
This is sponsored by Adventure Locators.
Yeah.
Jerry, hook us up. Jerry.
And cook us something. Cook us something too.
How long? No, go ahead.
What? How long? What? Oh, for it? I think maybe a month. I don't know. There's a couple night classes that you can go to, and then there's like a couple pool activities that you have to go do, and then you go on a checkout dive. I don't think you're actually certified until you do like at least one checkout dive. But then there's several stages of certification where it's like a beginner, open water, advanced open water, and they each come with like a depth recommendation and a tank recommendation and equipment recommendation.
So all of them, like in 1 month, I'll be a master diver.
No. I think you'll just be an open water diver. But you could be a wreck diver. You could be a cave diver. You could be there's all kind of different.
How many badges I get?
As many as you want to pay for it, I think, until you become a master diver like Robert Brooks.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, you're going to be a master diver. I've got no ambitions to be a master diver.
No, not that. No, just.
But just going. Yeah.
I mean, I've never been scuba diving.
I mean, dude, I've only had one freak out moment, and it was because the water I was in was so cold, and I like closed my eyes and pushed through it. But I was on my way to a wreck, and it was probably like 80, 90 feet down, and I hit like 70 feet. I still couldn't see it. The current was real bad, and the water, I didn't wear a wetsuit. I was thinking I was going to be macho, and the water went from like 70 to
You didn't have a wetsuit on?
Not on this particular trip. I just didn't realize how cold I was. Stupid.
If you would have had a wetsuit, though.
I'd have probably been fine, but it took that.
Did they have wetsuits on?
Some people did, some people didn't. It was hot. It was the middle of summer. But it took the air right out of my lungs. And I'm not thinking, should I turn around and go back? And I'm already, like I said, 70 feet down. I just closed my eyes, cleared my head, thought about, making sure that my breathing was controlled, and pushed on through. And that was the only freak out moment I've had. And obviously, I've been diving since I was 12, probably farting around a little bit before that, snorkeling and stuff. So, 20-something years. So it's pretty safe as long as you got good equipment and you're with the right people. You're smart. Don't do anything stupid.
No, I wouldn't. It's just...
My mom's worried about my dad because he's going with his buddy Pete Moran this weekend or this week. They're going doing, I think, some spear fishing off of one of the rigs. That's normally not one of my dad's things. He normally goes on like a controlled dive. So he's excited about it, My mom was all worried that he's not going to come home.
I'll call that love.
Yeah.
How long have they been together?
40 plus years. Yeah.
Honestly, like how long have they been living in that house?
I moved into that house. I was 2. I used to still live in a trailer in Virginia City before that.
But how long? So
30 years, 33 years, 31 years.
And I spent a lot of my life in that house.
It's a good house.
It's a great house. Beautiful home.
Yep.
Kathy, you're
they're
doing
redoing
it
right now. Actually, they're putting some shiplap on
Stop.
the ceilings. They've been redoing that house since they built that house.
You gave Matt the green couch. You didn't give it to me.
We sold it. You know who bought that couch? Yvonne Gibson. She's got the green couch now.
I love her.
Yeah, love her
Sweet
too.
girl.
Love her to death.
That's a good couch though.
It was so ugly.
Huh?
It didn't go with anything in my house. Those blue walls. There was like a little blue stripe in the couch.
But it was a solid couch because your parents keep everything super clean.
Oh yeah, they got like a relax room, and then like my mom says, "Don't sit on this."
That's what I'm saying. She never let me sit on all that stuff.
Yeah, and you did anyway.
Well, there's a few
teach
times.
you a lesson.
Yeah, well, we should stop by more to get breakfast and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Should we?
Maybe lunch. Anyway, let's call it, dude. Y'all be good.
Talk to y'all later.
See y'all next time.